you said I love you or appreciated someone that you care about, your loved ones. It could be a parents, a mother, a father, a sibling, or anyone that you care about. When was the last time? I spent a lot of time drafting my speech, and each time I drafted, I felt that I wasn't satisfied. I felt that it wasn't good enough. But whatever it takes, I felt that I had to do this speech because it meant a lot to me. And I felt that I had to do it because it's more of a closure to me or a healing for me as well. No, I feel that I had not enough time to spend with my grandmother because I had to move to Singapore in 1998 with my family. And I had to see my grandmother once in every 4 years whenever she came to Singapore for a visit. And all the while she has been staying with my aunt in Indonesia. And each time she visits Singapore, I felt that whenever I see her once in every 4 years or 6 years, I see her gets more frail, more weak, and much more older. And when I see that, I just feel so heartbroken. And I feel so much regrets because I'm not able to be there for her, to take care of her the way I want to, and to be there for her the way I want to. However, I really thank God for the few years that I had with my grandmother in Jakarta. You know, my grandmother is a person of a very few words, but she don't show much affection to my mom or even to myself. But sometimes she does show a little bit of concern through her actions. For example, there was one day when my grandmother brought me to do some grocery shopping. As I walked past to do some grocery shopping, I just saw a toy, and I was so intrigued by it, and I begged my grandmother to buy for it. Usually, my mom will just say, "Nope, nope," whenever she does that. But when it's my grandmother, she'll just buy anything for me. And there's this one toy that really excites me. Guess what it is? It's actually a microphone. I really love speaking ever since I was young. So it's a microphone where you put a battery on it and it gives off an echo. So I'll go around the house singing and acting like a speaker. Who knows? It will be my grandmother that starts off my career as a young age as a speaker. Who knows, right? But however, all of these memories with my grandmother is shortened vastly because we had to move to Singapore. And recently, unfortunately, I lost my grandmother on the 21st June 2016 at 8:31 a.m. We lost her to stomach cancer. It was actually a failed operation in Jakarta. When the doctor actually did an operation on her, they said that the cancer has already spread throughout the stomach. And you know how we have 3 meters of our large intestine? All of it, all the 3 meters inside my grandmother has stopped functioning. And so the doctor said it was impossible to actually revive my grandmother anymore. Just hearing the news alone is so hard to hear. And on 21st June, when the nurses was trying to revive my grandmother for 15 minutes, they couldn't do it anymore. I felt that it's time that my grandmother just had to go. And as I was just beside her bed, I held her cold hand and I cried, "Ama, Ama, Ama." But she wouldn't wake up. And I knew it's time that she goes. The thing that saddens me the most, the thing that really breaks my heart is that all this time I wasn't able to express how much I love her enough through the phone or even physically. And sometimes I wasn't able to be there for her, to appreciate her even more. And every time she would be on the phone with me, I would nag at her, "Stop eating so much junk food, stop smoking." And I would just constantly nag at her instead of appreciating her more and just showing her how much I care. I mean, it can't be helped because we are living countries apart. But as I laid there, I just felt so regret that all of this time I didn't even know when was the last time I had my last words with my grandmother. It could be 6 years ago. I didn't have any last words with her. And one thing that I learned, I've never lost anybody in my life because my family is so small. I never lost anybody, and the first person that I actually lost is my grandmother. What I learned from this lesson is that, and I would like to share with you, is that sometimes we human beings, we assume that our loved ones do know how we feel. Especially us Asians, we tend to be very stingy about showing our emotions to our loved ones. We assume they're always going to be there. As for me, I always assumed that my grandmother always going to be there for me, waiting for me to come home. But time is not so favorable. She just left me too quickly, and I left with regrets, not being able to show how I feel or show her how much I care for her. And so I just want to encourage those people, if you have a loved one, appreciate them a little more, love them a little more, because once you have lost someone, you never know how much you love someone until you really lost that certain someone. And so, in conclusion, I just want to do a shout out to my grandmother. Ama, I love you, and you will forever be in my heart. Thank you.